did you know that there's a new generation of Descendants? Yeah, of course you did. I mean, I'm sure you know that there's a new Descendants movie out. And it has been quite some time since I painted Uma and Evie and Mel and made some cotillion dresses. Now we have a whole new gen, like a whole new cast of characters to make as Lego mini dolls. So, the Descendants, the Rise of Red. Obviously, we are going to start with Princess Red, the daughter of the Queen of Hearts, because this one's pretty much about her. But also I want to have a go at Chloe too as my second one. But today we're going to concentrate on Princess Red. So she has got, so we're going to be repainting here. I'm going to find some base pieces to start with. So we need these sort of pants because they're going to work really, really nicely for her pants. Her torso piece, maybe this one because I can kind of follow the line of the jacket when I'm repainting. I know it doesn't look right at the moment. We obviously have to paint this, but I need to start with something on the base. For her face, I found one that was really quite good. I think this one works really nicely. She's got the dark brown eyes, rich red lipstick, and I'm not going to have to modify anything except for paint in a nose ring. And of course she needs the timepiece, which is going to take the characters back in time to change the past. But does it actually change the future? We don't know yet till the next movie. And for hair pieces, this one would actually do quite well. So this is the hairpiece from Paisley from the Lego Friends line as her pop star alter ego Layla. And this one, I mean, I know it's the wrong color. I can paint it red, but it's got the little space buns on either side. She has a fringe which is not right and the hair's not long enough. So I am going to make my own hairpiece out of polymer clay. So let's do this. I've got a surface down here that I can actually work on, and I could paint this hairpiece, but I don't want to. I will if the polymer clay version doesn't work. So it's my backup plan. It's always good to have a backup. So I've popped her head onto one of my practice doll pieces. So I've been painting this and all sorts of stuff. So it doesn't matter if I muss up the body part at the moment. So let's get the hair on. And I'm going to have to bake this once it's done too. So first up we make kind of like what is like a swimming cap round. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. It looks so whacked as we're going along, but you just have to be patient. We have to trust the process. So there we go. We got the base bit on, and then create a middle part with something pointy. So you can use a toothpick for this. So along the middle and then up the side, because these would be where the hair would pull up towards the actual buns. And I'm going to do, I'll explain as we go along. So we got our part bits, and then we're going to make now the buns so that we can just make sure that we have got everything at the right kind of ratio. So making a bit of a sausage here, then we're going to cut that bit off, and because we want them to be a bit thinner than that. So we're making a thinner sausage now. I'm speeding all of this up super fast because otherwise you would fall asleep trying to watch me do this in real time. And then cut this. Actually, because I have this gridded mat, I can actually cut this pretty evenly. So actually very evenly, just right down the middle. So now I've got two parts that are even, and I can twist them together to make because her space buns are plaits all curled around, or maybe they're just twisted and twirled, but my point is they're not smooth, they're textured. So we're going to create that with this, and then if I cut this into two equal parts and get rid of the excess, and then we'll start with one and make sure that this is going to be the right size so that we don't want these massive buns proportionately. I think that's so cute. Okay, so we'll make another one because we've got two lengths the same length, and then they should rationally be the same. The same size on either side. That's so cute. Okay, so we'll take these off because I'm not they're going to go on absolutely last. So next up, we might make some more little texture marks so it looks like it's not just a smooth hair piece, because when you pull your hair up, obviously you have all these little lines. So we'll just put a few little bits in there. And this will just make it look a little bit more realistic. And there's some over here to pull them back, and then maybe just some kind of splat bang in the middle of those bits there. Alright, cool. Okay, cool. Still looks really weird, right? But that's fine. So first up we're going to make now, well, this is the first up, but next up we're going to make the bits that come around over her shoulders. She has such long hair. It's the best wig. Her hair is so gorgeous and lush. In fact, all of the characters' wigs are just so much fun. There's so much life in them. So her hair is kind of like really long pulled down curls, almost like a massive crimp rather than a tight crimp. So I'm going to try and create that just by drawing that pattern on, but also I've got this bit of corrugated cardboard which I can push the sides around too, and that'll give it like little crimpy kind of curvy sides, just kind of to try and create the texture without messing with it too much. So I think that should work and not look too weird. So if we put these over where they would come out from underneath the buns, just here on either side, and that, yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think we can actually seat them now because they look good. Yeah, okay, so checking with the buns. Yeah, all right, take buns off again because they're not till last, and then we just kind of squish them down, which also adds some nice texture when we do it with our pointer tool. All right, and so we're also going to have we're going to have a little bit of space here so that her arms can still move, so space over the shoulders and arm movement room, hopefully. All right, for the length of the hair, the main part of the hair along the back, we need a big round wad of polymer clay. By the way, if you haven't watched me make any of these before, I always use Fimo because it bakes at a lower temperature. It bakes at 110, and I've had lots of luck not melting the mini doll head when I'm actually baking on there. So this should go on the back quite nicely. Now I'm just gonna texture it so hard, and then hope I don't just smooth all the texture out with my fingers and by touching it too much. So using my corrugated cardboard to create the little edges, which looks so good there. It's like crimping. And then I'll draw little swirls into it, and this kind of rips the polymer clay up a bit. I wish there must be a better way to draw patterns into polymer clay without actually ripping it, but I don't know what it is. If you know, if you've played with polymer clay, let me know in the comments. There's so much I still have to learn. I will be able to smooth some of these textured bits out a bit when I do a cleanup later on. Yeah, okay, right, so more texture around here. So this is what we're going to be looking at from the front. That's the back. Put this on up here. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, we don't need to go too hard with this because that actually doesn't look too weird. All right, because she has like just a big curtain of hair. There's really so much of it. So this works out really nicely. Okay, pushing this down at the top just carefully so that I don't muss it too much, blending it into our swimming cap base. And then we're going to put the texture back in with our pointy tool. Just little bits all the way around because I smoothed all that texture out. And that's really nice. A bit more. And this is often the point where I will end up messing things up because I start to overwork it and twist it too much and bits break off. But oh my goodness, I have got silver on my fingers from the actual paint of the body. It's come off on my fingers and I've got it on the hair. So going to grab a baby wipe or some isopropyl alcohol, and that will just clean that off before I bake it. I want to clean the hair off, and this will also serve to smooth out some of these little tear marks and clean off the surface of the polymer clay nicely before we bake it anyway. So there we go. Just make sure I don't touch the hair again before it goes into the oven. Nice, that looks so good. Okay, now we can pop our buns back on, and once they are actually even on the head, make sure just look at them from a few different angles. Just put that one down a little bit further. Then I can squish them down. And I think that looks really great. Oh, it's going to be so good when we put it on. Yeah, actually, I have to paint the whole body, don't I? Stop getting too excited, but that looks fantastic. Okay, let me take this away and put this in my toaster oven. So I need to bake this, because this is Fimo. I bake it at 110 degrees for half an hour. And then when we come back, it's all nice and hard and sealed, and it is permanently attached, obviously, to the head, but the head's not permanently attached to the body, so we can take that off, and then we have to start working on the body. It's time to do some painting. But that looks really cool. That turned out so much better than I thought it would. Oh, I could still just paint Paisley's Layla hair. It would work just as well, but this is super lush like this. Okay, time to paint her outfit. This is going to have a lot of fine detailing, which I am not good at. I'm not good at straight lines. I'm not good at getting things where they're supposed to be. But for those of you who ask me what paints I use Vallejo, I think that's how you pronounce it, paints. They all have these grim names because they're like war paints. So yeah. So rather than bright scarlet red, we've got some fancy names. But this one actually shows you the Vallejo on the bottom, AV. Yeah, so good. They're good paints. You don't need to thin them too much and they go on really well. So you just get them from model paint stores. So here we go. A little bit of red down the bottom of her shoes because she has platform shoes. Oh, I could have used the platforms that came with the Popstar sets too, maybe, but that would then make her really tall next to Chloe, which wouldn't be so bad. I don't know, I might think about that later. Red for, actually, there's so much red on this. It's basically all just red and black, and not even different shades of it. They're all the same shade of red and black, except for that little bit around her skirt. So she has kind of a textured overlay on the top bit of her skirt, and then we got a belt. Okay, all right, so getting the red on here, and I'm going to very carefully, if I can, paint around the jacket bit and keep those lines for where her jacket's going to be. Yeah, if I can. I think I've had too much coffee for this. This is my phone motor skills are not so great, but I can always go up and clean it up later. So for her pants, they're red on the inside and black on the outside with the stripes. So let's leave them for the moment. But so she's got like mesh sleeves or gloves. So to actually make a black see-through-y kind of bit there, I'm actually painting skin tone onto her arms so that when I water the black paint right down, it's got something to grab onto. Thank you to Margaret for this tip. This is the first time I'm trying this out, so let's see whether I can get it to work for me. So here we go. We've got the arms are painted. Now I've watered down the black paint, and it's probably even a bit too wet. So this first layer's gonna look dodgy, but that's all right. We can always add on to that. Now, I've done some more painting onto the pants off camera because this the straight line's very hard for me. And look at this. Doesn't this look good? The arms look good. So still more to add here. So let's go to the next step. So several hours later, we've added a bit more on here to the pants. They're looking pretty good. Still a bit of work to do here. And for the torso, I've also added some sleeves and the gloves on. Still quite a bit of fine detailing to do, including painting on the hearts on the front. And there's a big one on the back as well. So give me a minute and then we'll put it all together. So after many hours, lots of swearing and quite a large amount of persistence and going back and redoing stuff, this is what I have ended up with, and I'm really quite happy with it. I have never done this large amount of detailing before on a mini doll repaint, so this is quite a challenge for me. There's a lot of fine detail, but I think it's turned out really, really well. So here's her torso piece. Her jacket could have been shorter, but that's, look, I'm over that, I'm fine. So we've got our hearts painted on. I need to clean up that one on the back a bit, but when you put her hair on, you don't see that on the back at all. In fact, I only just noticed it in the movie like once. So yeah, because she has so much hair, I'm not too worried about the back, but the front, and then when we put her hair and everything together, I think she just looks amazing. I'm really surprised that Lego doesn't make Descendants mini dolls or sets, because they're a whole thing and they're so detailed, and so yeah, I love them. I love them so much. Okay, so let's give her the timepiece. So she's ready, and this is actually going to rip the color off her hand, but you know what? For that paint, I can just paint it back on because black is really easy. So there we go. Let's add our mini doll, our Lego version of Princess Red into the poster. See, that's what it should have looked like. This is the Lego version, right? So, do we need a Lego mini doll version of Princess Chloe as well to add to our collection? She'll be such a challenge. Her hair has its own, it has its own life. It has its own postcode. It's fantastic. And oh my goodness, imagine trying to paint that quilted blue jacket. It will be fun. I love a challenge so much. So let me know in the comments your thoughts, and if you would like to see that happen, and share, like, subscribe, do all the things. And check back in because more videos are coming up really, really soon. So I will see you then. Bye.